Okay, these are from December 27th. I went, you're on a train, and that always kind of terrifies me because it sounds like Inception. And there's this perverted section of the train, like it was being run on perverted machinations. And then I set up for 20 credit cards, and someone was helping me fill them out. And then they were saying in Japan, like, they don't do this in this season. This was really weird. And then two girls with me, and I go, what? Where'd they come from? The train moved. I went to look at it. Someone else was there. And what did he say? His bills aren't being perverted. Mixed into all the credit cards. Finally I go, I shouldn't activate these. There's all this clothes behind her. Something to do with school. I think there's two overlapping dreams here. One, I think there's three. One, there was a part of me that I kind of just kept alive since my childhood. It was my desire to be married and have a great married life. But as an adult, I had to realize that this childhood part of me wasn't going to help me achieve what I wanted to. Because I don't change just because people tell me to change or they say I ought to change. I change only when God works with me and shows me what I'm changing into. Because every adult my entire life has told me to change for what they thought was best. And with the gift of discernment, I could always just see that their minds were like, oh, do it this way. Oh, do it that way. Oh, do it this way. And it's like, what about what I want to do? And so one, I let that part of myself go. And it worked out because God brought better things back. He brought plans that I could have for like date nights with me and my wife. So that was really exciting. And then lots of debt. So the perversion, because of my ministry seat, it was like, hey, you can't go down these paths because they'll accrue lots of debts that'll have to be paid. And then what else was there? Two girls with me. Yeah, I guess that was just the second time I gave up like a major part of my personality. And then I don't know if God brought anything back. I mean, the downside is you lose a part of your personality that was kind of magnificent in its own way, but the good news is every single other part of you becomes like 10 times better. So yeah, so okay, so then let's see. There's a bartender, so I think girl who serves, that I knew when I saw her on the bar, and then she put like a mat on top of my clothes, and I was like, hey, that's my clothes. And I moved it. I was helping her and she was watching me. I was moving around like helping her. I was saying something like, don't worry, I'm not trying to like push anything on you. I just like being your friend. And then I ended up further down the road. There's a campus. So I think my campus is being built. Like this campus where I help people's dreams come true, and I work on dreams, and I work on the supernatural. Friend with a speeding car, he can take us. There's something like, he's gonna drive us and we're all holding onto the back. He's kind of a nincompoop, so I don't know who this is. But the car reminded me of something that was like Bumblebee and Transformers. The yellow is driving kind of reckless. Maybe there's someone with like spiritual gift potential that I need to mentor later. Yeah, this has to be coming up later because I don't see anything with this. Although this might have to do with Russia. Okay, this one was interesting because it's the robot from Short Circuit named Johnny Five, and he like looked over here and looked back, and there was definitely life force to him. But I think because my plan was to buy the rights and then use him in Christianity to like teach the Bible. Jim Henson had his Muppets, and I'll have puppets too, but I want to do a lot of robotics. I was laying there frozen and petrified. I was thinking if God can. I was just laying and considering things. Why would I be frozen and petrified? I mean, hopefully it's good news. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here we go. I saw Mars floating up, and then I saw like a present floating up as if it was like remote controlled to me. Okay, so this is important. So after Moses got the slaves out of Egypt, Joshua took them into the promised land, which became Israel. So they're fighting the enemies, and Josh asks the sun and the moon to stay in the sky so that he has light to finish defeating the enemies. Because they've got them on the run, so they just need to finish cutting them down. Joshua said to God at the side of the promised land, "Sun, stand still at the promised land, and moon, at the city of refuge." And the sun stood still, and the moon stopped. The sun stayed in the middle of the sky and did not set as on a normal day. There's been nothing like it before or after, when the Lord listened to the voice of a person, because the Lord fought for Israel. Joshua chapter 10, verses 12 through 14. Okay, so if you listen to Chuck Missler, apparently what happens is every 720 years, Mars comes so close it appears to be like 50 times the size of the moon. And so Mars would have reflected all that light on Earth. And then if you keep reading the story, rocks fell from the sky onto their enemies. So it looks like either the moons or, well, yeah, I'm guessing moons. Some of them fell into Earth's orbit and then crushed the enemies. So there's these once in a biblical history miracles. So we got that one. We have like Moses. We have, I guess, Jesus. Joseph did some big things. Who else did some big things? We have Mary. Solomon was considered the wisest man of all time. It says like no one was as wise as him before or after. And we can say Jesus was because he had outpouring with no measure. And he was also half God. Who else? Elijah didn't die. He was taken to heaven and came back as John the Baptist, the only reincarnation in the Bible. So yeah. So I should probably be a little more humble, because what I'm praying for Lindsay and I is not just to meet, but to be a once in a biblical history moment. And I think that's why it becomes a holiday and inspires, I see it inspiring like at least a third of our nation immediately, like really quickly. And then I think it feeds into culture and the imagination of like what God can do. And if I have my way about it, this will be one of those moments. And in my dream, I saw like a spirit bomb from like Dragon Ball Z, only the smoke was white and it was like God's fist coming up. And so I don't know. And I'd be okay with that. Like, despite the headache that, like he said, look to Christmas, and I feel that Christmas is already over, but I have a responsibility as the man I am to see things through. Like, I'm not going to lose anything chasing this for another 2 weeks. It's not like the end of the world. even though it feels like it at some times, because I have so much of my love and joy invested. And then seeing Lindsay say the same thing, where she said, I really felt that I'd meet him by this Christmas. So we'll see. But yeah, that'd be great. I mean, eventually Christmas season is over. I don't know, but I'm going to play it out until I'm told to stop playing. I was looking over my inventory, and then I saw there was this little white dog. It was like a Dalmatian. It looked at me and whimpered. And I think I get that. I was planning some D&D this weekend, and I think I need to keep getting all this stuff done, because Dungeons & Dragons like eats a lot of time. So we'll see. I was moving this work machinery across a courtyard. Someone was on my shoelace to trip me. I don't know how it works. Talking about work, my job isn't that bad. And I've kind of come around to that, like, I'll be okay. We'll just see. Because I'm not going to be one of those guys be like, I can go back to work. No, like, something is going to happen. Something is going to change. Something is going to happen. Something's going to change, okay? Something's going to happen. Something's going to change. You know, the living God isn't going to let me do this perfect playthrough and then not at least give me a hug. I'm going to get... It's hard because so much of Christian culture is like, you don't need rewards. It's like, what? I'm an awesome kid because I expect Christ to be like, yeah, you are awesome. Oh, you should do it. No. We compete for victory. We don't play professional soccer because we're just happy to be on the field. Some of us compete. Some of us are heroes. Some of us work to help others. I don't work just to go outside. I work to accomplish. So we're going to see what I accomplish, and we're going to see how God weighs in on it and shows up at the end. My name isn't Captain Jack Sparrow. So it's a Mad Max setting. It was like Putin. I remember I had a dream that I could start packing my bag because I'm going to meet Putin. And I've had several dreams where we meet and I pray for him, because apparently he has cancer. And I've prayed away most of it, but there's this breakthrough that I need to have from two different directions. And one of my dreams, I think Lindsay was like the arc reactor in my chest. So her or whoever I marry will be like, poof, and we'll see how that goes. 2 of my friends are working. 3 of my friends are working for me, so they're probably helping on my campus. Took a photo. And there's this guy in Russia who was like, don't let Putin think you're smart. Just let him think you're a guy who likes comic books. And I was like, what the heck? And I realized I don't think it's for him, because if I heal him, it won't matter. Nothing will matter after that. I think it's for the people around listening. Because they need assurance that I'm like not a spy. And I'm not, but I don't know how to prove that. I think if I can heal people, that's kind of proof of anything I need. Like, I don't need to be a spy. I'm trying to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. I'm trying to do things that supersede government. I'm trying to teach your people about Jesus. That is more important than power. That is like, instead of power, I'm going to be rewarded in heaven, so I'll have rewards forever. And that is worth more than anything on earth. Plus, like, I live in the future. I don't really have problems. I have an iPhone. Like, I'm pretty set. I think the only thing my life is missing is like the ability to write music, maybe a guitar. I was asking my friend at work if he wanted to be my bassist. I had a lot to learn. Okay, that was weird. I feel some umph in my chest. I say goodbye, I'm leaving someone, and they're like, what are you doing here? And I say, I'm here to see Putin. He knows who I am. And the guy goes, oh, really? I said, yeah, call him. So he calls Putin, and Putin says, yeah, I know him, let him leave. So this could actually happen. So I leave, and there's this weird Warhammer type fight where I have a wizard and like a shaman, and this guy sends someone like, whoa, like Putin to attack him. But I have a guy with a sling. So I send out this guy, and it's like a normal guy, and he just... So I think they were counting on him dying, and so they wanted to finish the job, but I call in help from heaven, and I ask my guys to just pray about Putin nonstop. So this guy releases, it's called the Skaven army. So in Warhammer, which is like future, like death punk war, there's like a rat army of rat people. And so rats, I imagine, will be like betrayers. And so I was like, we need a lot of mass spells. And so I moved back, and you hear like the Skaven, and then 2 people on my team get mesmerized. And I was like, what the heck? So they must be people that I'm like using in Russia instead of my people I've given the gifts to out here. And I had this whip, and I like smacked him to wake him up. And he's like, oh, I can't help it, I'm his property. And I'm like, you must be new to spiritual warfare. But that's a lesson. So there's lots of work to do to challenge the mental culture, and to work them out of a spiritual slumber. And they're being led away by the bad guy. And the other guy's like, I'm his property too. I'm like, what are you doing? Fight. So I have to teach these guys how to activate their spirit and I have to do a lot more. I have to really come up with a plan for Russia on how to like bring Christianity, teach people how to pray, show them what life is worth working for, etc., etc. Time to fall into the sewer. I don't know, it kills you right away, but what else? Oh yeah, and then I go, I don't know what experiments they were doing, so I need to pray about that. My charisma wants me to investigate. And then something about the middle. I have to figure that out too. There was a guy that was like a rhino giraffe. So I think it's like 2 generals working together, probably like a strong guy and a guy that's really tall. So I should really add that to my prayer list. Ugh. Girl, she had a bow. Okay, so I think this was... I don't know. It could be Lindsay or Rebecca. So there was a girl, she had dark hair. So it's kind of a mystery, and she was pulling the bow back to her cheek. And it wasn't black and white, it was black and cold blue, and she was like high above it, and she was gonna let it go. So I kind of asked God what that meant, and he meant the tension is rising, like in a good way. She's about to release. So it wasn't specific to Lindsay, I think is the point. She's about to release. So if Lindsay disengages, it'll be the next girl, and I know who we've talked about. I saw her, the second girl, disengage when it felt like I saw Lindsay talking with her friends, sitting down, her friends were standing around her, like weighing the choices. Should I not? And then I think she decided to, but then I think at the end of the night, she's like, should I again? And then I saw the girl printing back out. She was like being printed out of a printer. So I don't know what that means. But so if Lindsay says no, I won't be waiting another year. It'll probably be like at most a month and a week. So I very much understand what God is kind of bringing around to my life, which is pretty awesome. And my heart and mind are still with Lindsay because I'm a one-woman man. But if she decides the answer is no, like, we'll be okay. There's this girl really worried about how she looks. And so there was a Solomon moment. Like, I saw wire wrapped around her chest, and I was like, what does it? Oh, Solomon. And so I need to tell her that Beyond worrying about being beautiful, I'm very attracted to her long hair. So she really doesn't have anything to worry about. What did I write? You can tell the systems that make you doubt they can rest for now. Some type of Japanese wife. I think that's the master swordsman wife. So that would be like, whoever I marry is going to be taught spiritual warfare to like the highest degree. And then someone goes, Mom, you need to come back. I don't understand this one. It says your boobs are getting hot. Like, what? I think, so my plan was to decide when we wanted to have kids. I didn't want to have kids immediately after getting married. I was hoping to wait at least 7 months to a year. Definitely not more than 2. She was in bad mood, that suddenly she was really happy. So I don't know, that must be on her end. A cat that runs into something like a Mr. Beast episode, but the moment he gets zoned there, it's like 250 degrees and he stops. He's like, whoa. I think that's my coworker's husband because she's the full moon cat. Sounds like something being transformed into a White House. It looked like how my train would transform. So that would make sense. Like the spiritual train that God will show me, like transforms into a base of operations, but it can definitely be moved, which is good. And then I saw the special Christmas bride playing board games. She has a crown. So I don't know that it's Lindsay anymore. I'm holding out for her until God says no, because that's how I operate. I don't think about other women. But I bought her something special. I really wanted some of these to be kept secret, but I guess I'll just say them. I really wanted to buy her a crown for our wedding. I thought that'd be special, and I thought if someone asked, like, where's your crown, I would say, she's right there. So I didn't want to let that early, but it looks like she's having doubts, so might as well put my cards on the deck. And that was everything for December 27th, 2024. Love you guys.